Oh, 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 oh. Wait, is that? Wow. Wow. This is just so crazy. So we just saw a brand new GX550 drive by.
Never seen one before in person. It looks incredible. It looks really, really good.
All right, I think I found my new daily driver.
What's up everyone, Larry Chen here. We're back in Japan and we're at the Tahara Lexus Toyota plant. I'm really excited because today we're gonna check out a vehicle assembly plant and factory for the very first time. I've been shooting cars for so long, but I've never had a chance to do that. And it's lucky for me, Toyota and Lexus opened up their doors for us to do that. We have full access, and what I'm really excited about is we actually get to shoot the GX550 go on the assembly line for the very first time. We're talking about vehicle number 1 as a production vehicle. There's already prototypes, that's what they use for the shoots. But we're talking about a production vehicle that is not a prototype, that is built on the assembly line. That's what we're gonna check out tomorrow. It's a big occasion. So many people from Toyota and so many people from Lexus will be here to check that out and make sure everything goes good. But we're gonna follow that chassis from the beginning all the way to a finished car, so I'm really excited about this video. I got my fun Toyota hard hat and I got my little armband that signifies that I'm allowed to take pictures and video inside the plant. Let's go.
Hey, if you like what you're watching, do me a favor. Go check out the Hagerty Drivers Club. 24/7 roadside assistance with flatbed towing, subscription to our award-winning magazine, and more. Sign up today. Links right down here in the description.
We kind of got a pretty bittersweet moment here at the factory. We're watching the frames go through here, and it's actually just coming from the welding room, and they're getting transported on this assembly line to where it gets dipped in a bunch of chemicals and it actually gets coated. There's like this little rack here that has the last ever GX current gen V8 chassis ever, last one, coming down the assembly lines, number 5, and it's, I see it. It's right behind number 28 here. The exciting moment for me is that behind it, on chassis number 39, is the first ever production GX550 ever. This is it. This is the one that we're gonna follow through the whole process while it's getting built. It's just so cool to watch this happen, you know, because for a car nerd, especially for a Toyota nerd like myself, this means a lot. Since the start of the GX production line, they've always been made here in this plant. The fact that we got to watch the actual changeover is just so cool. In fact, when it changed over, there was a bit of an error because the machine or the arms didn't recognize the new chassis, because it basically picked up the old chassis, put it on the jig, and then picked up the new one and put it on the exact same jig. So the fact that they're together, getting dipped together with the same process, it really just goes to show that they're putting just as much effort into the old one as the new one.
You could see it getting put into various chemical baths,
and I'm assuming that this whole lineup is the wash process, and then that lineup is the coating process. Once it's coated, it looks completely different. It has like a black texture to it. This coating or wash, whatever it's going in, is the most colorful. It's very interesting. It has this green color, and it has a very distinctive smell. I can't really put my finger on it. So Louis and I are just waiting up here for the two frames to kind of go around this conveyor belt thing.
It's like a drying session right here before it goes in there.
Yeah, so once that's done, it goes into another place, and I guess we'll try our best to follow it along as it goes through its journey. It's just so cool, you know, they build 4Runners here, they build Land Cruisers, just a bunch of different vehicles on the same assembly line, and that's just something that I didn't know existed. With that said, this is the first time I'm ever visiting an actual car factory. Like, this is like where it's made from pieces of metal, which is just so cool.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, there it is, there it is.
There it is.
I also love the fact that they're so efficient. They would rather not waste a jig to have one old and one new, or both old and both new. It just happened to be this way, where both old and new are in the same jig. This is actually all of the drawings, markings, and the cuts.
It's like, hey, cut a hole here.
All of that stuff gets taken out when it actually gets dipped.
Well, it's not taken out, it's just covered.
Or, well, yeah, covered. But it's just so cool to be here, you know.
Chopsticks.
How excited are you to eat in the Toyota factory cafe?
I never thought I'd be excited to eat in a cafeteria.
Look at this.
This is a Toyota Lexus miniature mini car. Oh, this is Land Cruiser, isn't it?
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
60s too. Yes.
So cool. So cool.
Today's menu.
Oh yeah, today's menu. You gotta love JDM cafes, man.
Oh man. Is this
Look at
the
this. That looks good. Hamburger steak.
Oh, that looks good too, actually.
All of it looks good. All of it.
Take it all.
I'm so excited right now.
Take it all.
What'd you get, bro?
Got them soba noodles.
Soba, hamburger steak.
Sobas.
Nice. This is the parts that really impress me. Like, it's just the infrastructure of this factory. All the gas lines
For all the welding. And another thing that's really impressive is how much power they need
to run all of the machinery, all the welding machines.
but you could see a chassis that's already done here. We're about to see a new GX550 chassis go through this section.
This is a serious welding operation.
First of all, I couldn't imagine how much each one of those barrels weighs. And then second of all, how often do you have to change it, you know? So it's somebody's job just to make sure that this never stops and it keeps welding. Every one of these machines need to work peak efficiency. If one of these machines goes down, they need to be replaced. It also really puts it into perspective because of how many vehicles they actually build, right? So, for example, 4Runner alone, in 1 year, I think they're saying they sold 140,000 or 145,000. And so think about that, okay? That's not the only vehicle that they're building here. They build Land Cruiser, they build GX, and they build 4Runner. If you can imagine, with this many hundreds of thousands of vehicles coming out of this plant, you gotta just be pumping them out. Every couple minutes a new car has to come out. And what's also cool is we've been watching all of this happen, and there's like this garage that opens and the new cars that just get finished get driven to like another section here. Beginning to end, vehicle starts as a bunch of parts and metal, and by the end we see a completely finished product. This is actually a GX550 getting welded together right now, and we're kind of following it from station to station.
But it's like this giant robot arm that actually brings it from station to station, and it's like a symphony of welding that happens at the same time, and that's how
They're able to get so many chassis through.
How cool is this?
It's like instant. It's like done.
It just takes.
Like
It takes a
10
couple seconds.
Couple seconds. 10 seconds.
It takes a couple seconds for them just to do the whole car. Look, so now the chassis is coming down. This is another station, station number 3. Station number 3. Look at that, look at that. This really puts it in perspective how they build so many vehicles in such a short amount of time, you know? When you think they build 100,000 vehicles, that's what it takes.
Non-stop.
I see what's going on here. There's like this automated cart. Once they load it up with a bunch of components like subframes and little bits and pieces, it actually goes to each welding station and they weld the sub-components together. Then eventually it becomes a full-on chassis that's like lightly tacked together, and then it eventually makes it into this machine that tacks everything together. There's so much stuff going on so fast here that it's really hard to keep up.
There's a bunch of turntables here that turn the vehicles around. There's 2 levels of assembly lines where it goes to, and that's there's like a car elevator that kind of moves them depending on where they go.
Looks like the GX goes up and the 400 goes down.
Okay, so there's one that's 400, one that's GX. They get split up here, but it's just so cool. It comes with a bunch of parts inside. I'm assuming it's like different trim, and I see different trim pieces and stuff in there. I guess depending on the spec that you get, it comes with different parts. But it's just going all over the place. There's like cars being moved around upstairs. There's carts driving themselves.
It's just like boop, 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 boop.
It's honestly, if you're not careful, you could definitely get ran over.
Yeah.
Like you got to
It's
be
like,
really careful.
It's truly organized chaos.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep you guys updated, but every single different station, look at this, look how cool this station is. The engine just drops in from above, who knows where it's coming from, and then it just drops into the chassis right here. So crazy. Look, it comes with the transmission, transfer case, everything. Cats, all of it already installed. Until now, we didn't see the engines and we didn't see the bodies going on. This really puts it into perspective how many new vehicles are being built. Just us being here for 5 minutes, we watched 10 vehicles being built.
So yeah, look, they're bolting it in right now. I'm assuming that
They hand tighten it, and then the next station like actually bolts it together, and then maybe 50 feet later the body goes on it. It's just that quick. I mean, they make these like it's like a toy factory. Like there's no other way to explain it. It's like I used to watch how crayons are made and stuff. Look, here comes another one. Here comes another one. A V8.
They don't even have to align it because the assembly line is so efficient. They just drop it, and the point at which it drops is like the perfect spot.
it drops into place.
This is the area where the body actually drops onto the frame. This process is just, it's so crazy. You want to talk about putting it into perspective of how many vehicles they build in just one day, and it goes on forever. There's a night shift. This never stops. This keeps going, and it keeps building vehicles. We're gonna go to the next station. What a treat. I hope you guys can feel our enthusiasm for this place. I've been shooting cars for so long, and I've just never been able to see anything like this. Like,
Look at this scene that I'm just passing right now.
I think they make 1,000 a day.
1,000?
No, 500 a day.
500 a day?
Here.
Okay.
No, 200. 300. 250.
250. All right, so fine. I'll say 100.
100?
100 a day.
It's fine now.
It's probably more.
1日何台ぐらい
今は800台ぐらい。
Oh, 800
800.
per day.
What? In
Yes, I
between
said-
my
I said-
guess and your guess. No.
I said 1,000 after. Well, I said 960.
No, I said way less.
You said 100.
I said 100.
Oh, okay.
Wait, so 800?
We guessed like 1 a minute.
Hey everyone, day 2 at the factory here, and behind me is the first ever GX550 to go through the assembly line. Right now, it just came down from the conveyor belt. It hasn't been attached to the chassis yet, but this is just the body. They're taking out the doors and stuff. There's a bunch of people surrounding it, actually inspecting it, making sure that the process is good, because this is the first time this is going down the production line, and this is the first ever production one, not a pre-production, not a prototype. This is going to be so cool because we're going to be able to follow along as it goes through the assembly line. The elation and just how happy these individuals are to be able to see this come down the line. It's something that we can actually visually see, especially some of the people that I've talked to here at the plant. They've been working on this project for almost 3 years, and for it to actually come to fruition and it's coming down the line probably means a lot. What's also interesting to me is how many people are surrounding it. So it's a lot of these people that are installing everything for the first time, and also there's a lot of people here to make sure it works correctly. They're stopping the line every couple minutes, it seems, just so they make sure they get it right, because it is for the first time. The way that we see the body come from the ceiling, it's pretty much just come from paint. So as soon as it goes through here, the full wiring harness will get installed. When I watch these guys install these things, it literally takes like 20 seconds to install this very complicated thing, but obviously they've gotten it down to a science. This is interesting because the whole assembly line moves. The rolling cart moves with it until you actually push it. So now that the GX550 has gone through this first line, it's actually going to go back on the car elevator, and it's going to go up on this crazy conveyor belt network that actually drops it onto the next assembly line, where it's going to get all other stuff.
I found your dream car, Larry.
Yeah, we're both excited because
Accidentally.
this might be the first. I think this might be the first LC250 coming down the line right now. Oh, Land Cruiser! So sick. It's black. I haven't seen one in black yet. Oh, so cool. This is actually where the dashboard gets installed. So right now, it looks like a 4Runner is getting its dash in. But look at that crazy thing. That's all it does. First GX550 dashboard install. This crazy arm is in. It is just so cool that it just places it in there. They brought the dash in to the chassis, and it actually set it at perfect height. It like set it at the perfect height and location, and she just had to push it in, and then it just installed it, and now they're just bolting it in. Look at that nice dash. Cool.
So easy.
It literally took 5 seconds to install that dash.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just slid into place. Boop.
That was neat. That was very neat. That's what I wanted to see. Listen, I just came to an interesting conclusion. There's these guys delivering parts to every station, but there's a factory to build the parts. The motor, the windshield, the everything.
Well, this is just assembly,
This is
right?
final assembly, but we did get to watch them actually build a chassis yesterday, which is pretty cool. This is exciting because I wasn't expecting to see the Land Cruiser LC250 on the line, but this is what this is. This is the first one. And it does look like it's like a blue almost, right?
Like a midnight blue.
Midnight blue.
Almost like a more midnight than midnight blue. Like a mega midnight blue.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They have like this little screen. It almost looks like a subway map, because it's kind of showing each station, and essentially it's reporting on what's happening. Like which station's stuck or which one station's slow. Obviously right now this is slow because they're trying to figure this car out. So on average, each one of these vehicles has 30,000 parts to it. That all needs to be assembled here, step by step. So I'm talking to our handler right now, and he's giving up a lot of interesting info. So I see that they're pumping out a car a minute here, but I was wondering, you know, during the shutdown when they had a chip shortage, what did they actually do? I asked them if they actually shut down the line. Well, they didn't shut down the line at all. They had every employee still come in and improve the line. They have this thing called Kaizen, which is they try to shave seconds off of every single process as much as they can to make it as efficient as possible so they could build more cars. We're waiting for the windshield to get installed right now, so they're doing some trim and stuff on the GX. It's so cool to me that we're able to follow this vehicle from beginning to end. This is exciting because this is the first LC 250 chassis Land Cruiser that's coming. This is actually where the engine drops in. So it's a lot of people just kind of torquing everything, checking torque, putting it all together right now. Here comes the 2.4 liter inline 4 turbo engine for the Land Cruiser. This is the first time we're seeing it here in Japan. Right now, the GX550 chassis that we actually saw get welded up yesterday is coming through the line, and it's actually going to have the engine drop into it right now. So for the first time, we'll be able to see the V6 twin turbo 3.5 liter engine go into the GX550. This machine here just self-delivers steering racks, and it takes it to the steering rack station. But it's crazy, they get assembled here and then it just does it by itself. We're actually in the place where they merge the body with the frame.
Guys just putting on side skirts super quick. Bunch of small little trim pieces, and this is
also where they bolted the body to the frame right here.
That's the GX550 coming down this little crane system thing here, and what it's actually doing is it's actually bringing it to this station
where they're actually going to install the bumper for the first time.
This guy honestly probably has
one of the most labor intensive jobs here, because his job is to actually push the bumpers onto each car. Bumpers on. Next location, we're actually gonna shoot them as it gets inspected. It looks so good with the bumper on it. This is my first time seeing it in the clear with the bumper on it. Since this is the first time it's going through this section, it can't be delivered by robot yet, but we're really on the home stretch here. See, right now with all the other vehicles, it's like this magnet setup that actually picks up the chair, and then
see, it's like this cool little arm, and then it just takes it to the car, and they can install it really easily that way. They put down some padding to make sure they don't scratch any other parts of the car up.
This is almost the final section. The doors go on pretty much almost last, because the next station after this is where they actually align the doors and the hood and a couple other things. But what's cool is this machine is actually delivering the brand new doors, and then
this person actually just installs them right here at this station.
Check it out. So after following this all day, let's see, what time did it start? It kind of got on the line at 8 a.m. and it's 2:30 p.m. now.
There it is.
So after a couple breaks, after a lunch break, it's here. This is it. It's done. They're just kind of doing their final inspections right now on the line. But look at it. It looks great. I mean, it's a brand new car. It's never going to be this clean again, that's for sure.
Delivery day. All right, this guy's gonna drive off in the first ever production GX550 What a journey it's been. Does that really put it into perspective for you? Like, we started following this as a bare chassis yesterday, and
There it is.
now it's a running, driving vehicle.
That's the craziest part. It's a running, driving car, directly, like right off of the showroom, or not showroom, but like.
What we gathered is that they already fill up the gas tank. And everything's already all plugged in, batteries in it and everything, you know, by that time that they actually merge it together. Brakes are bled, all of that connected, everything is good. And then, yeah, you could just drive it away. Now it's gonna go to final inspection, and that's where we're gonna check it out next. They actually have this tan one here that's kind of cool. You know, the more I look at the tan one, the more it reminds me of the LX600. It just kind of has that face, has that look, but this is just so much more rugged and angular. I think it looks so good. This is probably one of the best looking body on frame SUVs I've seen in a long time.
The best one.
Okay, it is the best. It's just so angular, so sharp. The color is nice. It actually already comes with some aggressive tires, but I could see it looking pretty cool on 35s. This is it. This is the hotness right here.